Goedendag Dag and welcome to PA Dutch 101. This is video 39 in our series and we'll be covering the grammar topic of conjunctions. There are two types of conjunctions, coordinating and subordinating, and this video will cover both types and show how they are used. If you have not seen our previous videos in the series, I would recommend going back and watching those first, because some of the grammar topics that we will be covering and talking about today in this lesson they'll be building on information covered in the previous videos. So let's jump right into it, conjunctions. And we're going to start with the easier of the two, coordinating conjunctions. By definition, if you don't remember your middle school grammar lessons, coordinating conjunctions are words that are used to connect two words, two phrases, or two clauses. Even sometimes two sentences can be combined into one sentence using a coordinating conjunction. What you have to remember when working with these in Pennsylvania Dutch is that the addition of a coordinating conjunction, when you use one of these, it does not affect word order of the two main clauses joined together. So these are nice. You just plug them in and keep right on going. Nothing changes. Okay? What else is nice? There's only three of them in Pennsylvania Dutch. And these three words actually we've probably seen before in the previous videos. I just didn't tell you that they were coordinating conjunctions. The first one is aber, which means but. The second one, oder, which means or. And finally, which means and. Get the German in there as well. A-N-D. So, but, or, and. You can see that we use these in English all the time to connect phrases as well, because they are coordinating conjunctions in English as well. Alright, some examples. We're taking two clauses or two ideas and combining them in the middle with a coordinating conjunction. Here's an example. Ich will länger bleiben, aber ich hab keine Zeit. Ich will länger bleiben, aber ich hab keine Zeit. I want to stay longer, but I don't have time. So here's our coordinating conjunction, combining the two clauses together, the two ideas. Nothing changes. Subject, conjugated verb, other stuff. Coordinating conjunction, subject, conjugated verb, other stuff. Okay? Here's another example. Fliegst du nach Washington oder fährst du mit der Maschine? Fliegst du nach Washington oder fährst du mit der Maschine? Here we're using oder this time. Are you flying to Washington or are you driving by car? Are you going by car? Again, nothing changes as far as word order. And finally, der Tom kriegt ein Buch und der Bill kriegt ein CD. Der Tom kriegt ein Buch und der Bill kriegt ein CD. So Tom is getting a book and Bill is getting a CD. Again, no change in word order. Everything stays pretty much even keel. Just adding the coordinating conjunction where necessary. Okay? These are easy. Now, the other type of conjunctions are known as subordinating conjunctions. They don't play quite as nicely as the coordinating conjunctions, and you'll quickly see what I mean. So how are they different? First off, a subordinating conjunction is used to connect a main clause and a dependent clause a lot of times. So you'll have a sentence that can stand on its own and then a clause that maybe can't stand on its own because of whatever reason. A subordinating conjunction can combine the two into one full sentence. The big difference is that a subordinating conjunction does affect the word order in Pennsylvania Dutch. What you need to remember is the subordinating conjunction forces the conjugated verb, whatever that is, to the end of the clause. So kind of think of it this way. A subordinating conjunction works similarly to a modal in that it forces that conjugated verb to the end. In this case, it could be the end of the clause or the end of the sentence, depending on where the subordinating conjunction falls. Okay? I've decided to write out sentence structure to remind you. So in a normal situation, it would be subject, verb, other stuff, comma, then your subordinating conjunction, and because of the rule, the next thing is the subject, then the other stuff, and notice your verb goes all the way to the end in this sentence. This is our clause, everything after the comma, so subordinating conjunction comes first, and then that forces that conjugated verb all the way to the end. And I'll show you some example sentences coming up in a little bit. You also can start a sentence with a subordinating conjunction. When you do that, this is the word order you should follow. Subordinating conjunction, subject, other stuff, verb, comma. Note. Now comes your verb, then subject, then other stuff. I like to tell my students, think of it this way. If the sentence is starting with a subordinating conjunction, your two verbs meet, kiss in the middle, whatever helps you remember that. This verb does not go all the way to the end, it goes to the end of the clause, hence the comma, so it comes right before the comma. So subordinating conjunction, subject, other stuff, verb, verb, subject, other stuff. And again, I'll have an example sentence like this coming up. Okay? Now, here are the list of subordinating conjunctions. There are more subordinating conjunctions than there are coordinating conjunctions. And the first one is as, which means that. Bis, which is until, till, or by the time. You'll also notice that, like prepositions, the conjunctions can have multiple translations or multiple meanings. Ep, which is before or whether. So as, so that, in order that. Fun wer as, because of the fact. Wann, when or if. While, because. We, when or how. And finally, tsira as, since. To be perfectly honest, the ones you're going to use the most, while gets used a lot when you want to say because. I am doing something because ... You'll also use or tend to see as used a lot. And so as. Okay? He's buying the whatever in order to do something else, for example. Okay? So those are the biggies. Remember while for sure, so as, and us. The other ones get used as well. One gets used a lot as well. Memorize them all, of course, but you'll start to notice that some are used much more frequently than others. Okay? Here's some example sentences and showing you where and what happens to the word order when a subordinate conjunction is placed into a sentence. So here's the first one. Mir gene in der Essplatz, weil mir hungrig sind. So here's an example where the subordinate conjunction comes in the middle of the sentence. Notice that it's after the comma, and because of that, our conjugated verb, which in this case is sin, goes all the way to the end. Subject, verb, other stuff, comma, subordinating conjunction, subject, other stuff, verb. Okay? Just like the example equation I had earlier. Here's one where the subordinate conjunction comes first. Now remember, what happens? The two verbs have to come into the middle and kind of meet up. Wann ich Zeit hab, comma, wer ich etwas kaufe. Wann ich Zeit hab, comma, wer ich etwas kaufe. If I had time, or when I had time, when I have the time, comma, I will buy something. Now notice, our conjugated verbs are in the middle, hab and wer, separated by the comma because that's the two clauses, that separates the two clauses, and we start with our subordinating conjunction. Wann ich Zeit hab, wer ich etwas kaufe. Okay? Note, and this is a unique situation, it does happen from time to time. When you are using the conjunction wann, like we are here, wann, and it's followed by mir, so we, mir, the two are combined to form the word wama. An example, if you were starting a sentence like, when we have time, ... wama Zeit hen. Wama Zeit hen. Instead of saying, wann mir Zeit hen, you can just say, wama. Wama Zeit hen. Okay? Wama Zeit hen, comma, blah, well, wer mir etwas kaufe, for example. Alright? So that's just something to watch for. It's the only one of the conjunctions that does anything weird like that. Okay? Okay, bisschen üben. Let's practice a little bit. I give you 2 sentences or 2 ideas, and I even give you the conjunction to use. You got to figure out, oh, is that a subordinating or is it a coordinating, and what happens when you put them into the sentence. Does it affect word order or doesn't it affect word order? So our first situation, der Bill trinkt Tee, die Frau trinkt Kaffee. So Bill's drinking tea and the woman is drinking coffee, and I'm saying we want to use aber, which means but, and that is a coordinating conjunction, so no change. Der Bill trinkt Tee, aber die Frau trinkt Kaffee. Der Bill trinkt Tee, aber die Frau trinkt Kaffee. Here's another one. This time we're using oder. Mir esse Pizza, mir esse Kuchen. Now, we want to say oder, or, that's also coordinating conjunction, so nothing changes. Mir esse Pizza, oder mir esse Kuchen. We are eating pizza, or we're eating cake. Okay. This time, we want to use weil. And let's put it in the middle. Now, this is subordinating conjunction, so think about what's going to happen. This whole clause stays the same. This is where the change is going to happen. If you do it correctly, kauft eine neue Maschine, weil viel Geld hat. Kauft eine neue Maschine, weil viel Geld hat. The hat goes up all the way to the end. That's our conjugated verb, because our subordinating conjunction weil is here in the middle. Okay, hopefully we understand that. He's buying a new car because he has a lot of money. Okay. And one more. This time, ich hab Zeit, ich lese ein Buch, and we want to use wann. Wann is a subordinating conjunction, and I want you to put it at the beginning of the sentence this time. So that's going to affect word order. Be careful. Start with wann. Wann ich Zeit hab, lese ich ein Buch. Here's one, the subordinating conjunction is up front, so our verbs have to meet in the middle. Don't forget to do that. Wann ich Zeit hab, lese ich ein Buch. If I have the time, I read a book. Or when I have the time, I read a book. Wann ich Zeit hab, lese ich ein Buch. In all honesty, conjunctions are not that difficult. The toughest thing about conjunctions is remembering which category they fall into. If they're coordinating, that's super easy. Just plug them in and go. If they're subordinating, then you have to concentrate on your word order and making sure that you're moving your conjugated verb where it needs to go. Other than that, they're pretty easy, I think. I think you'll find it to be the case as well. A good way to practice this, take your list of conjunctions, both lists, and create sample sentences. And then combine them and practice. I think that's probably your best bet. So just like what I did, take 2 sentences like Bill is drinking tea and the woman is drinking coffee. Come up with your own though. Build vocabulary at the same time. Then pick one of the conjunctions. It doesn't matter which one as long as it makes sense. And then plug it in and see how your word order changes and make sure you're paying attention to all that. Okay? So that's it for conjunctions, both coordinating and subordinating. Bis die nächste Video. Don't forget, you can feel free to email me at any time. Mach's gut und schwätz Deutsch.